It is Monday, the 21st of April, 2025. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. Today, we're taking a bit of a leap back here, talking about more recent songs, but today we're talking about Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega. Originally written in 1981, released in 1984, and then released on an album in 1987. This song is, it's a certifiable classic. Even if you don't know the title or even have heard the full song before, you're pretty much guaranteed to have heard part of it, which is like right at the end of the song, she goes, that's the bit that everyone knows, but it's the least interesting part of the song. So the original recording of the song is a cappella. She just sings, there's nothing else. There are other versions of it, there's remixes. She's done like re-recordings and stuff. She did the song on the Tiny Desk concert, and I think she does that with like a guitar and like a drum machine or something. I think it's like based on the remix version. But I want to talk about the original a cappella version because that's, it's the best version, and also it's the most interesting. Suzanne Vega is not an artist I know a terrible lot about. I know her other big song, Luca. My name is Luca, I live on the second floor, But apart from that, I mostly just know Tom's Diner. But this song is just really interesting, and I love it a lot. It's very my kind of song. You'll understand when we listen to the lyrics, but it's very my kind of song to like. There's also a music video, which just kind of like illustrates what she's singing about. Again, not essential, but very good. So let's just go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that was Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega. Man, I love that song. Oh, so good. What? Okay, hold on. I opened this song up in Genius to look at the lyrics, but the fucking version in Genius is the remix. Hold on. Give me the original. Give me the original or give me death. That's not the original either. What the fuck? Can I look at the original recording, please? Or the original lyrics? Oh, here it is. Oh, that's so stupid. Okay, I found it. It's under Tom's Diner 1984. Good lord. Anyway, so this song is just someone sitting in Tom's Diner and looking around and noticing the people around her and outside. That's all the song is. It's great. I love people watching as an idea. I don't do it very often, but it's something I really enjoy in terms of creating character and for stories. And so, there is no actual Tom's Diner, quote unquote. The song's actually named after Tom's Restaurant in New York City on the northeast corner of Broadway and West 112th Street. So she used to go there a lot in the 80s, apparently, when she was a student at a nearby college. It's also more famous now because the outside of it would be used for exterior scenes of Monk's Cafe in Seinfeld. But anyway, apparently she was inspired to write the song because her friend, who was a photographer, he said that in his work, he sometimes felt as if he saw his whole life through a pane of glass, like he was the witness to a lot of things, but was never really involved in them. So I think that's really interesting, just kind of looking around and observing the world from your seat in Tom's Restaurant. I also really like how people have determined the exact date that she was likely sitting in Tom's Diner, which was, more than likely Wednesday, November 18th, 1981, because she mentions reading in her newspaper a story of an actor who had died while he was drinking, and then she turned to the horoscope and looked for the funnies. There's only two newspapers in New York that carried comic strips at the Times, and only one featured a front page story of the death of Oscar-winning actor William Holden, and so that places the exact date as being November 18th, 1981, which I think is a really interesting thing to know, because it's not mentioned in the song, but there's enough like clues that it's a real detail, it makes it feel more real. Another thing that's really interesting about this song is that the guy who developed MP3 audio compression used Tom's Diner as like his kind of baseline, because it's an a cappella recording. You can hear so many little like imperfections and unique noises in the recording and in her voice, so he used it as his baseline of like, if there's nothing removed from this song, then it's working, which is really interesting. And she's kind of colloquially known as the mother of the MP3 to audio engineers. So let's talk about the song itself. Well, it starts off with, I am sitting in the morning at the diner on the corner. I am waiting at the counter for the man to pour the coffee, and he fills it only halfway, and before I even argue, he's looking out the window at somebody coming in. So pretty standard just scenes, she's sitting at a diner, Tom's Diner, or Tom's Restaurant, as the case may be, waiting at the counter for the man to pour the coffee. He fills it only halfway, and before I even argue, he's looking at the window at somebody coming in. He gets distracted because someone comes in, presumably a more regular customer. And the second verse is, it is always nice to see you, says the man behind the counter. To the woman who has come in, she is shaking her umbrella. And I look the other way as they are kissing their hellos, and I'm pretending not to see them, and instead I pour the milk. So, it's always nice to see you, says the man behind the counter to the woman who has come in. It's implied that they are a couple in some way. She's shaking her umbrella, and I look the other way as they're kissing their hellos. So it's raining outside. That's a detail you get there, because she's shaking her umbrella, and they kiss their hellos. pillows. I'm pretending not to see them, and instead I pour the milk. You get the vibe that she's kind of feeling a bit lonely when she sees these people kissing, and she's just pouring the milk for her coffee. And the next verse, I open up the paper. There's a story of an actor who had died while he was drinking. It was no one I had heard of. And I'm turning to the horoscope and looking for the funnies when I'm feeling someone watching me, and so I raise my head. I mean, that's the bit I was talking about before. But yeah, she just flicks through the paper. There's a story of someone who died. She turns to the horoscope. She looks at the comics. And then when I'm feeling someone watching me, and so I raise my head. And that sixth sense you feel when you feel like someone's watching you. There's a woman on the outside looking inside. Does she see me? She does not really see me because she sees her own reflection. And I'm trying not to notice that she's hitching up her skirt. And while she's straightening her stockings, her hair has gotten wet. So I like how all the previous verses are that da-da-da-da tune. It's, I open up the paper. There's a story of an actor, right? But then this verse, it's, there's a woman on the outside looking inside. Does she see me? No, she does not really see me. It's like a slightly different melody. I like that, the way it kind of turns into a question there. So she feels like someone's watching her, but it's actually someone looking at her own reflection in the window. And she's like hitching up her skirt and straightening her stockings. Her hair has gotten wet. As she mentioned, it's raining. And so it's that little human moment of like thinking someone's looking at you, but they're just checking their reflection and they're not like conscious about that, And then the next verse also subverts the structure a bit. It slows down. Oh, this rain, it will continue through the morning. As I'm listening to the bells of the cathedral, I am thinking of your voice. I love the way it slows down there, So, oh, this rain, it will continue through the morning as I'm listening to the bells of the cathedral. I am thinking of your voice and of the midnight picnic once upon a time before the rain began, and I finish up my coffee and it's time to catch the train. So, she gets into the sort of melancholy state. She looks at the rain, she listens to the bells of the cathedral, and she thinks of someone's voice. And you think she's missing like an ex or even a current partner. And of the midnight picnic once upon a time before the rain began. It makes it sound like, thinking of a happy memory before all of this trouble and strife. And so then it slows down as she's kind of lost in this memory of like a lost love of some description. Then just, and I finish up my coffee and it's time to catch the train. And then she runs off to catch a train, and then the rest is just her kind of singing the melody to herself. And I love that. I love the way this song just kind of explores a space, explores sort of human nature and how your attention drifts and your memory drifts. And then she's like, oh, fuck, I have to go catch a train. It's just great. I love it. I love how it's constructed. A lot of people have covered it. A lot of people have sampled it. There's famously the song Centuries by Fall Out Boy uses the in the like pre-chorus part. Also, there is a cover. I don't tend to like covers too much or remixes of this song because I like just its nakedness with the a cappella recording, but the Giorgio Moroder cover featuring Britney Spears it's wild. It's so strange that it exists, but it kind of fucks. It's really good. So I'll link that down below. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
That is not the original lyrics. This is not the original version. So it's raining outside. That's an umbrella. Think of a happy memory before all of this trouble and strife, the pain and suffrage, and all that roughage. You mean them blues? You know what I'm talking about. Man, I wish I could talk about that song on here. Anyway.